Hey guys, and welcome back to Will Squared Podcast, where we talk about sports, talk about just about anything that comes in our mind.
Pretty much.
We're flying by the seam of our pants. I'm Will Sr.
I'm Will Jr.
And today we're going to talk about what happened this past week in sports and maybe even look forward to some stuff this weekend, right?
Yeah, this weekend could be even better somehow.
Even better.
But
So, obviously I'm wearing my Argentina jersey.
we'll start off with football then.
Well, no, we just kicked some butt. I just want to bring it up. 6-0 hat trick for Messi plus 2 assists.
Plus 2 assists.
Right, and I'm also wearing my Yankee hat because we are up 2-0 on our league championship. So pretty happy this week.
It's been a good week up to this point. And it's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
I would hope that it gets better. It's his birthday this week as well, so it could
Woohoo!
he could have one of his best weeks of his life soon if things go right.
Yeah, hopefully.
All things go right. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's move on because we have a lot of things to cover. I want to
Good.
of all, I want to touch on the breaking news of this past week in football.
Football.
We had 2 major moves from receivers to the AFC East.
Your damn division.
My division,
Of
in
course
which
it
I
is.
was hoping Miami would be able to claw back its way back to playoff contention. I don't know if we can do it now. First, we saw Devontae going to the Jets. And we talked about this last week. We were thinking that he may have a possibility of going to the Ravens.
To the Ravens.
I thought he was going to go to the Chiefs, but we were both kind of sidetracked. And he ended up with Aaron.
Well, I did say that the obvious answer was the Jets, but because of what he posted, of course, I had some optimism he could somehow end up on the Ravens. And of course, I was wanting that, but it was not going to happen.
Do you see a big change now in the Jets? Do you feel that they are a 2-4 team that can make it to the playoffs? He came from a 2-4 team to another 2-4 team. Can they make it to the playoffs?
Yes, they'll make the playoffs. I'll just say that. In terms of your first question, how much of this will change? It has to change a bit because we don't know what the Jets are after 6 weeks. They're not an elite team. They still have a really good defense.
Yeah.
On paper, they have a great offense, but the execution has still not happened after 6 weeks. It will change a lot because now you got 2 true number 1 receivers on any team in Garrett Wilson and Devontae. You have a decent offensive line. Still got to fix some stuff there. But yeah, the Jets actually have a good team.
Yeah.
And it
sucks for us.
I haven't seen Jets make the playoffs yet because I started watching like 2010-ish. That was the last time that they made the playoffs.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about the other big move, which I don't like, obviously, but I think it's a good move for the Bills, which is Amari coming over to the Bills. What do you think about that one?
I'm not even sure. I guess I got to see more of this on the fly because Amari has not really been elite since his first year on Cowboys like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, he's always that reliable receiver. But he's getting up there in age. He's already 32, 33 already. He played for Bama 10 years ago already.
Yeah. I remember that too.
Great times. It gives him a reception guy for Josh Allen because they already had like Keon Coleman, the rookie. They got Shakir. They got 2 great like tight ends who are good at catching. So this would just bring another elements for them on offense, another way to attack the defense.
Yeah. So do you feel that he can push him over the hump?
Because of what's going on with the Dolphins and because the Jets are 3 games behind already, I do think that the Bills are going to win the division.
2 games behind.
Well,
4-2 and 2-4.
Head to head.
Oh, head to head.
Yeah. Technically 3.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think the Bills are going to win the East, unfortunately. But yeah, so this will help them win the East, definitely. For the Jets, they'll make the playoffs. They could push for the title if they get hot. Yeah. It's still really early in the season. There's still like 10 more games.
Yeah.
Such.
Yeah. So I want to touch two more teams before we move on. Obviously, let's touch the Ravens.
Ravens.
We had the Beltway
this past
which,
weekend.
by the way, we don't share the same Beltway with Baltimore. We have $4.95 down here, and they have $6.95 up there. But it's still the battle of the Beltways.
The Beltway. I don't even care. It sounds cool.
But you know what? I like that kid Daniels.
Jane Daniels.
Man, that kid is very impressing me a lot. The Commanders, I don't like that name. I still like Washington football team or even Washington Redskins. But they actually played really well. I was very happy and impressed with the way they played. The future is pretty bright here in Washington as long as they maintain that same core and they keep growing together.
Yeah.
But how did you feel that the Ravens do? Obviously, they won.
I was never really nervous that they would lose at all, but I was more wanting to see how Commanders would respond. I didn't think that this would be a game that the Ravens play a bad one in or choke a few plays or play like they usually do in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about that. I just want to see how Jane Daniels could handle this moment, face his first major test.
Yeah.
In a rowdy crowd. Yes, it's not that far away, so the travel doesn't have to do anything. But yeah, like you said, he played well, no mistakes. That's all I'm seeing from him, and I'm very happy is that he's just not making mistakes that cause turnovers.
Yeah.
He's not getting the flashy passes yet or the high experience stuff yet, but the fact that he's not making mistakes now is a huge sign of success to come.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've noticed, but he has the highest completion percentage in the NFL. But at the same time, as I was watching the game, I saw a lot of dig and dunks, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there wasn't a lot of long balls, a lot of very contested balls or very dangerous passes. Mm-hmm. But there were a few, one there, where I saw that he was able to put that ball in the small window, which is very, very impressive for a rookie. So I was very happy. The other thing I want to talk about, and again, we talked about this, I think in our first episode, is the running back for the Ravens. I'm so bad with names, guys.
Derrick Henry.
You're going to get used to this. I'm going to be saying, what is his name? I'm really bad. Derrick Henry. He's on pace to rip
2K.
To break some records. And I think when they announced that trade, you and I were talking, and I told you that he was going to get 2,000.
I told you he wasn't. And
yeah.
I still don't think he is, because I don't think he'll have to play that much to even have a chance to get 2K.
Okay. That's
what I'm saying. That if he was on a mid team that finishes 10-7, that's going to push for a wild card, and he has to play, then yeah, he probably would.
Okay.
But I don't think he'll have to play that much in December, November, that they need him to run for 200 a game just to win.
Yeah, I saw some stats this week about the Raven running offense versus everybody else. The Ravens are leaps and bounds ahead of the second place rushing attack. It's incredible how much yards they have, and I'm sure you're going to find a picture, put it here. But they're pretty far ahead of
the running numbers. Oh yeah,
the running numbers.
Yeah.
So put that up.
I saw a stat too that even though the Raven defense is not playing well, they're still number one in rush defense. So just compare those numbers.
Well, because everybody's trying to play catch up, most likely, and so they're just doing passing.
So they can't really.
Yeah.
Well, that and also they just can't run.
Yeah.
They can't run.
Yeah.
Look at all these teams.
Yeah. All right, one last team before we move on. I mean, 49ers picked it up. But
two more teams.
Okay, all right.
Trust me.
49ers, okay. But I want to talk about our favorite hate team, the Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
This is for my brother and my nephew. They're both big Cowboy fans. My nephew lives in Austin, so he's really close by.
Yeah.
My brother Ed, he lives in California, but ever since we were growing up, he was a Cowboy fan with Starback. I was a Miami Dolphin fan. So that's how we grew up, loving each independent team. But I watched the podcast that we did last week. And we did not really touch on what was going to happen. But I think independently, I told you.
Yeah, he did say this.
I told you that they were going to get destroyed by the Lions, and they literally did.
He did say
at
over
home
30. He did say over 30. I was like, nah.
At home,
it'll be a win. I don't see 30, and it was more than 30. Yeah. It was 40.
So it was at home, and guess whose birthday it was?
Jerry freaking Jones.
Jerry Jones. Happy birthday, old man. I think what he should do for his birthday is find a GM.
Or, well, I was going to say retire, but yeah.
Well, I mean, retire from GM.
Just
He's the
working.
owner. I mean,
celebrate your birthday. Just stop working.
Yeah.
You don't have to work. You got billions in the bank. Just let these professionals do the job because
obviously you can't do it. So
Cowboys are a mess.
Sorry, Ed. Sorry, Gabe. We're going to move on, but just had to kind of throw that in there.
Yeah.
So what team did you want to talk about?
We got two very, very big games this weekend.
Okay.
We have Chiefs and San Fran. A rematch of the Super Bowl.
Yes. And they actually have San Francisco favored.
Just because they're home, probably. That's it. But Chiefs aren't playing that well either, so it's not a big surprise. Then on Monday night, it's the Ravens and Buccaneers.
And the Bucks.
Two humongous games. I'm very excited for it. Chiefs and San Fran, I think this is a Chiefs' first loss.
Okay. Hopefully, because that way the 72 Dolphins stay as the only undefeated team.
They're not going undefeated. They're not going undefeated. All right.
Regardless, I don't want them to even be close to going undefeated. I was really scared when the Patsies were undefeated back in the day, and I'm so glad the Giants took care of them.
I wish I saw that game live. I wish.
We did. You were.
I was what, 4?
Yeah.
I was 4.
They were. We had friends over to watch that game. Yeah, absolutely.
We got to talk later about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think Chiefs get their first loss this week. I think San Fran. If San Fran don't beat the Chiefs this time around, they're never going to beat them because they're like 0-4 against them since Pat joined.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And 2 of those have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Ravens in Tampa. Baker's playing like a freaking MVP quarterback.
Yeah.
And I said this would happen because he's not a terrible quarterback.
No.
He doesn't make dumb mistakes like the bad ones do. And when you put him on a team with 2 future Hall of Famers and Mike Evans and Godwin, you're going to do good things. And your defense is good. They scored 50 this past week on Saints. So I'm excited for this game. Monday night, so it's going to be a nice, calm night.
What's your score line?
It's in Tampa still. Both defenses are not playing like they could, so probably be a high-scoring game. Probably be like a 31-27.
Damn, that was my score line, too. You have Ravens?
Yeah.
Ravens.
I got Ravens.
I do, too. I had about 31-28, 31-27. All right, but I just want to get your take really quick. I know that we didn't really discuss this, but Lions at Vikings.
Lions at Vikings.
Both teams are incredible this year. What do you see?
I have the Vikings.
You have the Vikings?
I have the Vikings.
No, I think Lions beat them.
I have the Vikings.
Give them their first loss also.
Until a quarterback proves that he could even play half well against that defense, I'm going to keep on picking that defense.
So you're picking the Vikings because of the
yes.
defense? No. I think Lions beat the GBs out of them. I think it's not going to be I'm not saying beat them score wise, but I'm thinking they're just going to beat them down. I mean, physically beat them down. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm going to go 24-17.
That's not a bad.
What's your line on that?
You said 24-17?
Lions.
I'll probably go 24-20-ish. 23-20, 21-17. It'll be a low-scoring game. And unfortunately, one of my favorite players, Hutchinson, got hurt this past weekend. Leg got tore up. I saw it live. You could hear the snap live. And I was like, please tell me that was not his leg. And then I saw the replay. Nah. So that's a big piece. You lost your leader, your sack leader, your captain, all that. And I think Sam Darnold's going to do enough just to put up more points than I think the
defense can give up. Okay. All right, something to move on because we can talk about football forever. We love football, and we can definitely share a lot of experiences and thoughts. But let's move on to soccer, football. Right now, World Cup qualifiers in South America. We have the Nations League in Europe. Argentina just ran rampant all over Bolivia. We Messi with a hat trick, two assists, complete game. Believe it or not, though, he has scored the most goals against Bolivia than any other team in South America. Sure, yeah. I think he's up to now with the triple yesterday. I think he's up to 12 in 11 games, something like that. You can find it and put it in. Colombia beat the Bijibis out of Chile. Brazil over Peru.
Bro, Chile is sad.
So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about Chile, right? And we're saying how Chile used their old generation just too long.
For years.
Too long.
Then
they didn't develop anybody in between. So right now they have this old team that is still kind of playing a little bit with a lot of younger players
who suck,
who just don't know the pressure, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening with Chile, and they
didn't regenerate their new generation. Yeah, like most top teams do.
Yeah,
even for like small games.
Yeah,
they didn't try to like change up for anything.
No,
for like 10 plus years.
Exactly,
they had the same squad.
Yep, yeah, they didn't change it up at all.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the World Cup really quick. I know that we're doing Nations Cup in Europe.
Less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years.
It's gonna be a great time.
Very early prediction. Obviously, we don't know the seedings. We don't know anything, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you like to see in the final again?
Who would I like to see?
Yeah, who would you like to see in the final?
Who would I like to see is Argentina against the worst country in the whole tournament.
Well, sure, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. What do I think is going to happen?
What's your dream matchup?
My dream matchup.
And you don't have to be biased like me. Because I would say Argentina and France again.
I was about to say, if it's a dream matchup, I don't want it to happen in the final, but a dream matchup would be Brazil against England. Because there's so many superstars, and it's not a known rivalry.
Yeah.
Like France and Brazil.
Yeah.
They faced off a couple of times. Argentina, France, and Argentina and England. Yeah. That they face off in like 3 World Cups.
Hand of
that
God.
kind of stuff. Yeah. All that. So a dream matchup, I don't want this in the final.
No.
But
because that means Argentina is not
that they're not in the final.
So what did you think about that big news coming out of England where Tuchel took over the squad? Do you feel like he can do a better job than Southgate?
He can do a better job. It just depends which Tuchel we're going to get. Is it the 3-back one or the 4-back one? Because that team can fit both very well.
I mean, he does like the 3-4-3.
But at Bayern, he did the 4-2-3.
Exactly.
But he changed his whole system. So it depends what Tuchel we're getting. Is it the Chelsea system Tuchel or is it the Bayern system Tuchel? Yeah. Because it's completely different, and you have world-class players at every position.
Yeah, England should be a lot better than they were under Southgate.
They're a top 3 favorite for the World Cup, so you gotta
They I think Southgate.
It's calm and home.
Southgate kind of failed him because he just did not have a system up front. He just threw all the attackers up there, just say go.
The best 4 attackers they got, and Foden, Saka, Bellingham, and Kane, and then off the bench you have Aaron Gordon, Palmer,
and then he just said go play. Like I don't think he had any kind of system up there. But anyway, so England looks promising, but yeah, for me, I think the ideal. I would love to see Argentina and France again, or even Argentina and Brazil. That would be.
That almost happened in 2014.
Yeah,
could have happened in 2014.
Yeah.
All right. Last question for you though.
Okay.
Before we go to the next topic,
which is
baseball. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that Messi is going to play? Be in the squad?
Okay, so
not if you want. Do you think that he'll be included in the squad?
Oh yeah, he definitely will be, unless he decides that he doesn't want to.
He retires.
So exactly. So coach is going to put him in there. He's going to be part of the squad unless Messi says.
He's available. Yeah.
Unless Messi says no, you know what? I'm not going to play anymore. Right.
Okay.
With the triple yesterday, he became the second highest goal scorer for the national teams.
Mm-hmm.
About 15 behind CR7. So he and he played great last night. Apparently, unfortunately I didn't watch it, and I kind of feel bad.
He did play great. They had Julian and Lautaro, just them two. It was like a 4-3-1-2.
Yeah,
if anything.
Yeah. So apparently he played well. Obviously, can he maintain that level for the next 2 years? Right, because you're going to need him through the World Cup, right? And that's in 2 years. It'll be done. I think he will be in the squad unless, of course, he decides. I don't
want him to be in the squad, though. That's the thing.
Why?
Because this guy's had such a fairy tale story.
Oh, you don't want him to ruin it by losing
the World Cup. Like,
and what if he
wins it?
If he adds to it,
that's different. I've been giving it a thought. I'm still recovering from the 22 World Cup. Both of us are. Because that was the longest morning of my life.
Man, it was crazy.
But, we'll keep on talking about this as the World Cup arrives. We still got 18 months.
Got a long way.
No, we got 20 months.
Yeah.
20 months until the World Cup here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, awesome. All right, let's move on to baseball. Although baseball should have probably been number one today. Yeah, because we're pretty happy. Last night, Yankees win. Finally, Judge gets a homer that he so needed.
Relieved.
Do you think that gets him over the hump? Or you think that starts his engine up again?
I would hope
because
so.
We will need him in order to win the World Series.
The thing is that players are playing well without him being on form, and if he gets on form,
that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't make it close.
So. Well, that's exactly what I mean. Like right now, I mean, we've gone through this last series. We've won these first two games. Even without his homer, we would have won yesterday.
Yeah.
But I think things are going to get tougher. I mean, we're going to Cleveland, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
For what, 3 games? What is the format now?
Is 2-3-2 still?
Yeah, so it is 3 games in Cleveland.
3 in Cleveland,
and then we come back to New York. So I don't want to come back to New York.
I don't want to reach Saturday.
No, I don't. I want us to just get rid of him quickly.
Saturday is game 5.
Yeah, and on the other side, we have the Mets.
Well, yeah.
And the Dodgers.
Analysis-wise, that series is a heater. That's a great series so far. It's been 2 games. Tonight is game 3. Back in New York. It better be loud in that place. I had the Padres since the wild card, man. And I still have the Padres, even on their out.
Not me. I had the Subway Series.
Padres failed, man. They scored 0 runs in the final 24 innings.
Yeah, you can't win anything with that.
Of game 5, 4, in the first part of 3. You can't win with that. So, of course, they lost. But credit to the Dodgers, too. They locked in.
They did lock in.
And hitting wise too, like Mookie finally got out that slump. I love him, Mookie. I still got the Mets though. Yeah. I still got the Mets. And then Yankee wise, Cleveland is just not playing clean baseball, even though that's all they preach. Because they're not a high power team. Their payroll is not that huge, so they rely on small ball, good defense, and good pitching. And we haven't seen that in this series.
Hopefully we don't.
Like, you could argue that a lot of the runs that the Yankees have had are more errors than hits.
Well, and they have been.
Yeah,
I don't know the stats. Like, I don't know how many. Yeah. But you're right. A lot of the runs have been as a result of errors.
And the Yankees are just currently playing cleaner baseball. That's just it. Cleaner. Not the cleanest. There's been a few little mental mistakes in the first 2 games, but Guardians are not playing well like I know they can.
Yeah.
It's a best of 7, so there's still plenty of time.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of time.
But may I just say, we're 2 wins away from making the World Series. The first time I'll ever see it if they make it. So,
well, a couple of years ago,
I'm just shaking.
A couple of years ago, we were 1 win away from going into the World Series, 3 up on Red Sox, and they came back and
I didn't watch that game.
No, obviously you weren't.
I was there. 1 year old.
But it doesn't. All I'm saying is that it's not over until you get that 4th win.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Yankees make a World Series. I need to see it.
I'm hoping that this is the year for you, man. Start watching the Yankees do what they do best, and that's win World Series.
But Game 3, Schmidt is going out. He had a great performance against the Royals. Stood again. And in Game 4, we finally see the rookie on the mound, Luis Gil.
All right, so before we move on, one last question for you. Weaver, is he the next Mo?
Is he the next Mo? It's kind of hard to tell it now. He's playing like it so far, but this is just the beginning. There's still the better games to come, and of course the World Series. If he gets like a ring or two and plays consistent like closer baseball like Mo did, then yeah, sure. But
Mo started as a starting pitcher.
But Mo is Mo, man. It's kind of,
and he started as he started as a starting
pitcher,
right?
Yeah.
Then he got moved into middle reliever because we had Wetman, I believe, at the time.
Sure.
And then when Wetman left, he got that role, and I mean, for the next 10 years, he was 40 saves average per year. It was insane.
Or even more.
Right?
50, 60, yeah.
So Weaver's kind of going in that same projection, right?
Yeah, but of course.
I like the kid, though. He looks like he's 15.
Yeah.
Clean shaven. He's so small and thin. And he's not your typical closer that tries to overpower you. He does a lot of change-ups, sliders. He does have a mean, nasty fastball whenever he wants to use it, but it's not his number one pitch.
Yeah, but with Mo, what makes Mo is what? Winning when it matters.
That's the legacy, man.
The legacy. I mean, more people have walked on the moon than hit off of Mo in the postseason. So that's why he's Mo.
Yeah.
Can Weaver do it? I would love for him to do it.
Yeah.
Of course.
It'd be great.
Can he do it? Of course he can do it. But time will tell. He's on good pace. Pace.
So by this time next week, we'll know who's in the World Series.
Who's in the World Series.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
I think because Game 6 is Monday, 7 is Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah, we should know.
And then for the NL, it's Saturday, Game 7's Monday.
Yeah, because they're one day ahead of us, 1 day ahead of the American League. And, like we talked yesterday, if the Yankees make it, whoever they play is going to be legendary because you either have Subway Series number 2 or you have the Dodgers, who the Yankees played in World Series many, many, many times, especially when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah. I think it's a record 8 times, 7 times.
I don't know, but
the
it's
first one since 81.
Yes, we played.
The Dodgers won that one.
I believe so.
Because Yanks won in 78 against the Dodgers. But I think they came back and won in 81, 82.
Probably, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for next week to come on here and wear my Yankee.
Don't
jinx it.
Don't
okay, all right, I won't jinx it. Speaking of jinx, I have to tell you this. Because I texted you, and I think you were a little preoccupied, didn't see my text. So I started watching the Washington Commanders against the Baltimore Ravens, and I forget who the guys.
Oh, I just got it.
The commentator.
Oh,
it was
Jim Nantz, probably.
Jim Nantz.
Yeah.
The first quarter, Ravens are driving down, and he says, "This Washington Commander defense has never intercepted anybody this year." And I thought to myself, son of a bitch, you just jinxed it. The next pass was tipped, intercepted by Washington. And I sent you a text right away. You didn't respond. You were probably busy with your friends, but it was insane. It was talking about jinxing. So, yeah, let's leave that in the background. I don't want to jinx anymore.
I was in a bar and the volume was not on the TV yet till about halfway through the first quarter. when we asked him to put it on. So
you didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that,
Oh.
yeah, sound was off.
Oh, yeah, it was incredible. I mean, if you guys watched it and you saw that happen, drop us a little comment there so that Will believes me. Let's move on to the last
one.
Subject we want to talk about. This is college football.
Very excited for this.
Last week, I told you Oregon was going to win, and you said no way, and I was like, yes, sir.
I hate Ohio State.
So Oregon wins. They're in second place. That's the highest ranking they've had. This week is incredible matchups. What do you see, and what are you most excited about?
Well, first of all, back to Ohio State. The fact that this year's Oregon might win the Big Ten is annoying me so much. I don't know why. Okay, but we'll get to that when we get to it. This weekend is one of my favorite weekends ever. October 19th is going to be one of the greatest days in college football history.
Good matchups.
At noon, we got our second favorite team, the Hurricanes, against Louisville. Always a great ACC clash every single year. That's at noon.
Yeah, and Louisville can actually derail Miami.
They could.
It can be the dark horse that actually knocks them out of playoff running. Yeah. Although they still got to play Clemson, which is a ranked team also.
That will be in the ACC championship.
In the championship, yeah.
If they win out.
Yeah.
And then at 3 o'clock, we got Bama and Tennessee. If Bama plays like they've been playing the last 2 weeks, they're going to get blown out.
Bama's got it.
So that's a chance to lock in because you lost to Vanderbilt, so now you have a unranked loss on your record. So you got to win out.
Look, so
get the highest.
As good as Milroe is,
mm-hmm.
these past 2 weeks he's been kind of shaky at times.
I haven't seen much. Okay. So if you have,
I have.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean he's just been shaky. Like his passing has been a little off, a little higher, more interceptions, more fumbles. I'm thinking that he's got to lock in a little better. I don't know. I don't know if the coach has him ready to go.
Yeah.
I know that Saban had them ready to go, and you can tell that they came out and they were ready to roll. This coach is a little more laid back. He's a little quieter, and the team is kind of reflecting that, which I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
They don't start off fast. None of these games. I think only one game they started off fast, and that was against Georgia. Other than that, they've been just kind of like going through the motions. So I want to see a little bit more of Milroe, and apparently he's projected to be a first round pick.
He will be a first round pick, yeah.
But he needs to pick up the slack a little bit. I don't like the way he's playing at this moment.
Well, this weekend is a great time to
it's a good time to
know some answers.
Yeah,
because if they lose this game, they'll probably still make playoff, but not like a top 8 seed. It might be like a 9, 10, 11, 12 if you got like 2 losses.
Yeah.
And one of those would have been freaking Vanderbilt.
And then what else?
And then my game of the year at 7:30 at night, Georgia and Texas. Before the season, I did have like Georgia and Texas in the championship, but now that I'm seeing how the season is unraveling, I don't think that will even be possible. So I had Texas as my champions. They're still my champions. Georgia has a chance to do the funniest thing ever and go into Texas and destroy them. Because when you lose to Alabama really early on, it gives them a chance to lock in because Georgia's had 2 or 3 losses in the last 4 years, and they've all been Alabama. But this time, it wasn't like a championship game or like a playoff game. So you have a chance to lock in because if you beat Texas in Texas, all those words about Alabama is done.
They disappear.
Yeah, they disappear if you beat Texas.
But how much validation is that for Bama beating Georgia? So you see what I'm saying? Like that would throw a wrench.
It'd be really weird.
Yeah.
Because like Bama would still be just in that middle just because of freaking Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But I'm going for Texas, but I think Georgia wins, man. I think that defense finds something to stop Sark. I love Sark. I miss Sark. He changed that whole program around, freaking Sarkisian.
Yeah. What do you have the score as?
It just screams Georgia for me. I don't know why. This game just screams Georgia. I don't want it to be Georgia, but it screams Georgia. It's hard to predict college scores because
they're all over the place.
The two best defensive teams that could end in like a 41-40 score, or the two worst defenses could end in.
All right, so you got Georgia by how many points?
4. 4 or less.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Georgia walks into Austin.
It screams
where our nephew Gabe has actually become a Texas Longhorn fan. But I think Georgia walks in there, takes care of business, goes home. I think they win by 10 points.
If it's Texas, I have no problem with that.
No, of course not.
I think Texas wins everything. But if Ewers plays like he did last week, they're getting destroyed.
Yeah.
What else does that mean? It means Archie freaking Manning is coming in the game if Ewers can't play well in the first quarter like last week.
Well, Archie Manning should have been.
He should have.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put back in the Ewers, but.
I mean, you want to talk about it? I mean, he's got the Manning gene, and
he's fast,
and he's got something He's got something that his older brothers didn't have, which is the speed.
He has his dad's speed.
Yeah, to get out. Yeah. So
his dad had speed. His uncles were Hall of Fame QBs.
That's a good family to be born into, man.
And poor Cooper. He got hurt.
He got hurt because apparently he was a really good player.
The best of them. But he got hurt. His spine, I think it was, or his neck.
Yeah.
He had to retire, but. Yeah, great weekend coming up. I'm excited for it, gosh.
All right, guys. Well, we did a lot of talking today. We could talk for hours, but it's time for us to log off. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And put a little like, subscribe, and put a little bit of comment there. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know that you don't agree with us, or maybe you do agree with us. If you're Ed or Gabe, go ahead and put some comment in there where
can't wait for this
where you kind of disagree with our Cowboy hatred. But guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys
later.
See you.